watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Hundreds of Bahamians go to sleep every night with the quintessential Bahamian dream on their minds, only to wake up to the nightmare of homelessness. The sun illuminates the island as it lifts over the horizon, and a new day begins in paradise. It's a day that begins and ends just like most days for some of us. But in the chaos of our everyday living, we're missing the obvious: people.
Charlie was my face.
We could get you some help
I don't want it. I don't want anything.
Our brothers and sisters who have slowly faded away into invisibility, like colorless butterflies, disappearing right before our eyes. The irony, though, is that these invisible people who are all around us can see us clearly, more than we will ever realize, and are longing to be seen again in the beautiful colors of life.
to cry, my babe, into an ocean where
For the 43 years of his life, he has been fighting the plague of invisibility on an island that is only as big as a peanut. He lives on the edges of our lives, where he can see butterflies of all colors fluttering and kissing us like the wind. Canaan Lane, one of Nassau's oldest neighborhoods, is where the plague of invisibility slowly crept upon a young Mark Anthony Smith. From an early age, Mark, the youngest of his mother's 3 children, suffered rejection, even as he craved the attention and love all children deserve and desire. His highly imaginative and intelligent mind may be to blame, as his behavioral patterns sometimes were interpreted as a bit strange.
I remember watching Superman for the first time, and I wanted to be Superman, and I used to run around with a cape on my back, and I mean, I was just like very different, not that I'm crazy, I guess I was a different person. I wasn't like that normal child, but at the same time, I wouldn't say to myself I was actually crazy in terms of having a mental problem. In life, sometimes you go through stuff and you have psychological effects. And people rejected me because of that, because they thought that I didn't make much sense. And family likewise, and out of my siblings, my mother had 3 children, still have 3 children. I'm the last one. And they always had a better life than me. Nobody never seems to give in to me, and that hurt, because nobody was never there to sit down and talk to me, to give me some sense of guidelines or sense of direction. I went to school, started from grade 1, I finished at grade 8. I never completed junior school, I never completed junior high school, I never finished school. I came to school at an early age. Because I never had a mother to give me that incentive to go to school. I never had my basic necessities. I remember going to school barefoot. There were times that I didn't even have food to carry. So eventually, I guess, stopped. My mother wasn't there to push me because she wasn't the type of mother who in herself wasn't really fit to be a mother. That's how life was for me from a young child, and to my adult life. It's so sad.
Mark's intelligent mind was fascinated with the universe and the stars that illuminate it. He easily educated himself through the use of local libraries and his constant reading. But a child that longed so much for love could not escape drugs.
Nobody was never there for me. And that resulted in me trying to drown my problems through using drugs and basically all my life was based on drugs.
His first taste of drugs was marijuana at the age of 15. Then crack cocaine slowly exerted its strong and eroding grip.
I actually went and I bought some coke. And I actually put the ashes on the pipe. And I light it. And that's when I became introduced to cocaine. That was my first encounter. And from the curiosity, curiosity lead to experiment, sometimes lead to entrapment. And, that was the situation. I got hooked on drugs. And since then, I was using cocaine. And that mashed my whole social life right up. I was all in the world, all by myself.
His early adult life saw some good times. It wasn't all bad. The rough living was contrasted by Mark's strong survival instincts that somehow shaped him into a master landscaper, and he was able to support himself. Through it all, though, he continued to struggle with addiction.
I strongly became dependent on it. Sometimes I find myself doing things I really didn't want to do. And then it comes back to haunt me and hurt me. But I never kill anybody, never rob anybody. It's just that some stuff like that, I guess, it's too poisonous for me to divulge. I remember going in the yard. And this was my first time in this particular drug yard. The areas where I normally go, it wasn't no drugs around. So somebody told me you had the drugs, and I went up. This was like late in the night. As I was walking out to go to a shortcut, guys came and they ambushed me. And they knocked at my teeth. As you can see, that's quite obvious. That's why I lost my teeth. And they took the drugs and took it and lay out on me.
That close encounter with death was one of many experiences that left Mark feeling uneasy. But it was not enough to bring down his Goliath for the next 8 years. Mark had a colossal taste for cocaine, and nothing, not even occasional violence, could get in the way of his next hit. As it happened, his Goliath would soon take full control of his life. Mark slowly faded into a colorless existence, isolated from the world around him, screaming for human connection of any kind, but no one answered. He continued using drugs and alcohol to drown the pain and emptiness that comes with invisibility.
I always longed to be loved. And everything that God created needed love and attention. Simple as a cat I had. When I used to come inside, the cat will actually come and grab my leg. And I'll grab it and rub it down. It's amazing, like an animal. It can come and show you affection. Humans who have the intelligence would not even give you that love and affection. We need to be loved. Even God in himself requires love. This is why he created the world, because he, with all this power and all this possession he obsessed, he didn't want to be selfish. He decided to just project it, give it out. He wants to be loved. And he's a supreme being. Everybody needs love. Everything needs love. Love is the greatest essence there is, the greatest value there is. Without love, you don't have nothing.
Eventually, everything he had slipped away.
It came to the point that I became solely dependent on it, that I just stopped working. That really resulted in me being on the streets. Because I did not know where to go, couldn't go to family. Because basically all my life I was always by myself.
Depressed, homeless, and desperate for a change in his life, Mark took a huge leap to a rooftop where he faced the cold and forbidden abyss of homelessness. From that rooftop, he could see everything.
Lonely spire, crawling on the floor. Lonely spire, longing for life.
It's like, boy, I wonder if something is going to come and crawl and bite me. Or what if somebody see me and they just might have a vicious mind and decide to come up here and harm me? Or what if I sleep too much and I decide to roll up and just fall off and end up breaking my neck or something like that? Being homeless is very, very difficult. It's so much to it, man. There's so much to it. It's very much pain. And if you're not strong, you'll actually kill yourself. Because the pressure of life comes down on you hard, you know. And then you can't be up here in the day. You know, sometimes I feel bad. I just don't have somewhere to stay. The only thing I'll do when I feel bad, probably go in the graveyard and go under the shade. You know, because sometimes I just have a headache or have a toothache or I just feel bad. My body just don't feel to it. I don't have that strength and energy. And I can't come here because I'll burn up like an egg.
Mark slept underneath the stars on that rooftop for 2 long years, until one day he met a woman who could see the invisible people. Indian mystic Jogi Vasudev once said that the color of any substance is not because of what it is. It is what it rejects or what it gives off or reflects. This is the color of DeVoe Street. Has come, and the setting sun mirrors the energy of the people of this inner city community that closely resembles the characteristics of an old school Nassau neighborhood. Like any other neighborhood in inner city Nassau, the community has its share of struggles. On this evening, though, laughter was the medicine that cured the soul.
A boat leader come at 5 o'clock. They come in Nassau. One leave from Nassau at 3 o'clock. They go to Long Island. What time they pass one another? One leave 5, one leave 3. What time they pass one another? Don't wait yet. 1 past 1. 1 past 1.
If only laughter could cure us all forever, there would be no more pain. After the great escape of laughter fades away, DeVoe Street reveals an unconventional solution to one man's trouble.
I'm gonna beg for your forgiveness. Gonna do that from the start. Gonna need you as a witness. You may have a hardened heart. Have I always been a sinner? Or did the world tear me apart? Can I somehow be put together? Sometime today, 'cause life is short. Deacon Phillips, can you hear me? My dear old man, now are you there? I think my train is off the railing. Is there some way to get it clear?
This is where I live. This is what I call home. At least for now. For now.
Okay, so tell us how you came upon living here.
Well, I was actually living on top of a church roof. And I happened to meet this lady, guest who asked me if she had anything for me to do. So she said no. So I asked her for a cup of water, and she didn't actually had no water. So as I walked out the yard, she called me back, and she gave me $5. She said, make sure I buy water now. So I took the $5, and I didn't actually buy water. But anyway, it happens that I met her again, and I saw the car was steady, so I say, I appreciate the fact that you give me $5, let me just wipe it down. She said, I ain't getting no money. I said, you ready? Give me money. So as I started to wipe the car down, it happens that she came to me and she said, how you treating yourself? And I said, boy, I ain't gonna lie, it ain't really good. So she said, you all right? You have clothes and stuff like that? Because my husband's getting ready to get rid of some clothes and you might could use them. I say, oh, sure, I could use them. So she said, where do you live? I was like, I didn't really want to divulge that I was on the streets. I was a little bit embarrassed. So I said, I'm somewhere. She said, man, I don't see him. So you look like you're going to sleep on the floor or on an old car or something like that. I said, why? She said, you say you look? No, there's no disrespect. So I said, let me just don't beat around the bush. I really ain't got nowhere to live. So she said, where exactly do you live? So I said, right now I'm sleeping on top of a roof. She said, on a roof? She said, oh my God, you ain't scared to fall off? I was like, it's not like a roof that way I could fall up. It's a very long, flat roof. She said, what you still in rain? Come, I just have to just grab my stuff and find somewhere to go. So she said, man, take me to this roof. Let me see what this roof is. I was so glad because I said, here it is now. Somebody is willing to give me somewhere to stay. So we actually get in the car and we drive to the roof. And I show her the situation. She used to say, I get a trail in my yard, you know. She say, right now I have somewhere to go, but I could give you the location where you could find it, and if you like it, then you could be there, and you could be there as long as you want to be there. So I say, sure. So I actually run, and I run, and I finally make it here, and I came into the yard. I opened the door, and there was some dog feces because they used to keep dogs in here. The dogs died. So I said, sure. I said, this is better than the roof because at least if the rain come, I would not get wet. You know, and actually I came and I cleaned up the place and stuff like that. Not very often, no. She came and she gave me a mattress. She gave me some sheets and stuff like that. And this was like in 2013. It's like I can never forget, 2013, July the 21st, because I remember the day quite well. And from there, this was actually my home. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even have to pay a nickel, and I appreciate the fact that I was, like, if the rain come, I'll be on the ground and stuff like that. But now I'm not on top of a roof, I'm under a roof, and then I don't have to sleep on the ground. I in a bed, you know.
Every night in his tiny trailer, a conversation takes place between Mark and God. It's just the two of them, so he's free to tell God the truth about his loneliness, his pain, and his struggles with addiction. For Mark, it's like a heavyweight boxing match with himself that never ends. The man he wants to be versus the undefeated heavyweight champion, his addiction.
I grabbed the drugs and I said, you know something? I gotta start now. And it wasn't easy because the fact of the matter is I just cleaned a yard. I did a yard that day. I got $50. But I said to myself, you know something? I could do something I've never done before. And I just create that fortitude, and I just grabbed the drugs and I mean, hesitating. I was hesitating not to do so. But you know what I say? I can start now. This is going to be the end of this. This is going to be the end of the darkness and the beginning of light. I'm going to make a future for myself. And I actually just throw it away. And how I throw it, I know I couldn't find it if I even wanted to go back and look for it.
Mark's tiny shelter, unfortunately, doesn't come with the hot meals, clean clothes, medication, toiletries, and hot baths he needs every day to survive the unending deprivation of homelessness.
I think people are very much blind to the social ills and the stuff that goes on in this country because, you know, they are so fortunate, so good that they don't even appreciate it. And this is why I see the foreigners coming in and really capitalizing and taking advantage of the opportunities they have because why? They know where they come from. And that's the same thing with me. I have know where I come from, and the hard life was pushing me to get a better life because, you know, every little thing I get, I appreciate, and this is why I'm going to go to the top because I know what it's like to be in the gutter. I know what it's like to be down. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to be homeless, and this is why I'm very humble, and this is why I'm very appreciative of whatever I get. It doesn't matter. If I get an old pants, I'm going to be able to wash that. Only one thing, I don't care how you look at me, I don't care what you say. One thing I know for sure, our pants is not going to be dirty when you get to smell me. You know, it doesn't matter. Jeans will make you important. His character was his.
Mark was onto something. If we could walk a mile in his tattered and well-worn shoes, just maybe we would understand the endless suffocation of addiction and homelessness that is becoming an invisible plague in this country. He helps us uncover the reality of this very real problem without pointing the finger at anyone but himself. When we met him, however, Mark was taking the first steps to reclaiming his life by quitting his drug use cold turkey and cleaning up his appearance. He accepts that this is but a baby step in a long journey to becoming his true self. is the face of the invisible people. His story paints the grim picture of the daily struggles of our homeless, who, we've come to find out, exist among us, and their numbers are growing. The reality, though, is that many of our homeless go unnoticed and sadly unassisted.
Only one network.
This used to be the waiting terminal for the airport. It's now gone.
We have the most experienced team covering hurricane.
But when Hurricane Irma makes landfall here in New Providence in a few hours,
We cover the entire Bahamas before, during, and after the storm. One network covers every island rocket. We are the best because we have the best. For hurricane coverage, there's only one network, the Zetlanders Network.
is Chogam 2022 in Kigali, Rwanda. I'm Shashina Rowe-Parkinson, and this is my videographer, Anton Brennan. We'll be here all week giving you all of the highlights. This morning, the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture brought remarks at the Youth Forum. Here's what he had to say.
We are divided by rivers and borders, but again, we are one Commonwealth nation. And climate change is going to affect the Bahamas, it's going to affect each and every one of us in the Caribbean and the entire Commonwealth nation.
Be sure to tune in at 6:30 p.m. on the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, and of course, again at 7 p.m. on the Bahamas Tonight. We hope to bring you all of the highlights. See you then.
There is a majestic system that biologists say beehives have used successfully for millions of years. In fact, scientists have concluded that human beings could learn more about maintaining harmony within their societies by observing the behavior of the fuzzy insects that have lived in social groups longer than humans have existed. To honeybees, while individuals matter, the common good is always their first priority. Ego is not an attribute of honeybees. Their first and only duty is to the colony, and bees will sacrifice themselves without hesitation if they detect any danger to their colony. If only our communities could function like a honeybee colony, where cooperation and sacrifice are keys to its success, just maybe there would be no invisible people. There would be no homeless.
I feel for anybody who have a home to go to, especially when night comes. Sometimes sometimes it rains in the day, but like in the night it's dark. And you don't, you see women out there, you see some children walking around late at night, and just to think that they're homeless and they don't have nothing, that is so heartbreaking.
You passed that on the Eastern Parade grounds on a passing East Bay Street on a particular time of day. All of these homeless people are early in the morning. I go out at early in the morning and to exercise, Stay Fit for Life, and we're there at Independent Shopping Center. And you have persons in Independent Shopping Center. Me, for one, I give a gentleman like $6-7 a morning, maybe 3 mornings of the week. Homeless homeless people is here and wait until it's an issue now. We got to deal with this problem now.
We have a lot of people, homeless people sleeping on the road, that people are ignoring that there's a lot of homeless people there, that we are individual as one, we keep on pointing fingers, but we come together and decide each one is do our part, we can help one another, you know, and instead of blame the government for everything.
It seems as though it's picking up a bit, and that's kind of shocking, but I think we do have that problem. I think it can easily be fixed, but I don't want to deny it. I think we do have that problem.
When you talk about it being easily fixed, how do you think that the problem can be easily fixed?
Well, first of all, it all boils down to housing. I think, if not the government, the private sector needs to get together with the government, and let's work together to provide that.
However, there are people who do not believe the issue exists in the paradise we call home. We mention homelessness, and for many, their eyes glazed over. Assumptions such as lazy, addicts, and Jonesers were thrown about.
I don't think so. Very much. If we do, I see a lot of people who appear to be on drugs, sleeping about, you know what I mean? But most behaving people have home and they take in some of their relatives and family. So I don't think we have a problem with homeless people. Not like the States. I've been to school in California. I see hundreds of people sleeping under the bridge and in cardboard boxes and stuff like that. I don't see too much of that here. Yeah, I think the Bahamas, we still have a wonderful place here in the Bahamas. It's still a wonderful place for the Bahamas to live. Compare with many other countries. They won't be home because they won't be home. That's your choice. I think I can go here or go there.
This man has walked the cold and desolate road of homelessness.
I think it's an issue, and I think it's a choice. I mean, I once was in that situation. I was making money, but I was partying at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And I accepted it. I just get, what I say, relax. You know, I get used to it. Until one day, I came from the club, and I was snoring. I was sleeping, I was snoring hard. And the lady inside there was hearing me snoring, so she woke up her brother and asked her brother, what's the noise outside? You know? So he said, man, that's Black Boy. So next morning she told me, said, boy, look, you gotta go. I was like, what? I was like, I thought at the moment it was cold. You know what I mean? I said, here, I sit from outside, I ain't costing you nothing. I said, I think I'm giving you free security. You know what I'm saying? So she said, I gotta go. So at that point I said, well, you know what? I got too much potential, so I gotta pull up my socks and do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? So I moved and I find somewhere for $80 a week. And I was going up ever since. You know what I'm saying? So it's a choice. It's a choice. If we get complacent and you get relaxed and accept it. See, life, you can't accept things. If you fall down, you got to get up and just keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Now I got a store across the street. I have a store in here. I sell wholesale. You know what I'm saying? I pay an apartment now for $1,000 a week. So it's an example of things can happen if you make an extra effort. You know what I'm saying? Once you put one foot first, the big man can make the rest. You know what I'm saying?
While Black Boy believes his condition was created by choice alone, the fact remains that many Bahamians are experiencing homelessness for a myriad of reasons that aren't necessarily the result of choice. Pastor Kirkland Cawley is on a mission to uncover the truth about this invisible plague. His research was birthed out of compassion and is intended to provide insight on an issue that has been quite difficult to measure due to there being very little data available. As it stands, unlike many countries around the world, the Bahamas has not officially quantified the extent of its homeless population. Another drawback, he says, is one of the greatest misperceptions that must be done away with. the belief that homelessness is a one-dimensional condition. Myriad causes, he says, catapult people onto the streets. There's the lack of affordable housing, decreasing government support, the challenge of raising a child alone, domestic violence, a medical crisis that drains finances, and fractured social support. All of these contribute to what is described as the multi-dimensional status of homelessness.
There are several forms of homelessness. Three main ones are situational homelessness, sometimes referred to as transitional homelessness, and then there's episodic homelessness, and then of course there's chronic homelessness. Situational homelessness is described as that kind of situation where persons find themselves forced to live in homelessness because of some tragic situation that happened to them, some things beyond their control, like natural disaster, like a hurricane. We have seen recently, last year, we had Hurricane Matthew, and that forced some people to be without housing for a while. And then also there's that situation where persons lost their jobs and they find themselves homeless. Or there can be situations where the primary earner in a family may have died, and persons who were dependent on those persons find themselves homeless. The episodic homelessness, those persons who are regarded to have mental health issues, drug addicts, and there are even drug and alcohol addicts also. These people will tend to be on the street. It seems like their condition will just drive them to the streets, or they will always find a reason to be on the street because they can always get it more easily, they believe, while they're on the streets. And then, of course, there's the chronic homelessness. These people generally are unaccompanied individuals with usually a disabling condition. And these are people who would have been homeless for about a year or more, or they would have had several episodes of homelessness over a period of time. So they are the major categories of homelessness. I think we really need to do something, and indeed, I think we have an opportunity in our country to do something about homelessness.
From what we observed in our short time on the streets, the amount of chronic homelessness on New Providence may not be as great when compared to what social partners categorize as situational and episodic homelessness. Although little data exists as to the extent of our homeless population overall, the Department of Social Services is just one agency that sees the gravity of the situation. Hardworking social workers are in the trenches every day, dealing with entire families who have no food to eat and no place to call home. The struggle to meet the demands of those who fall under the poverty line, including our homeless, is too great for the agency to manage on its own. So they rely heavily on the work of charitable organizations to assist our homeless, many of whom are also mentally ill, drug addicts, and those who have fallen by the wayside because of a breakdown in family relations.
It was a cultural shock going back into community support, and here persons coming into the community support center and saying, Mrs. Lewis, yes, I am employed, but I'm sleeping in my car. And I'm not talking about one or two persons. I'm talking about quite a bit of persons coming into us and saying that I simply don't have anywhere to live. I don't have a home. And sometimes people are living in really, really substandard conditions, so they're basically homeless themselves. And I could remember recently, and this is prior to Hurricane Matthew, one of my caseworkers and I, we went into a community to actually see where a client lived. And of course, we had to do a trek into some bushes, and it was not fit for human abode. It was not fit for human abode. It was like she compiled old boards and cardboards and whatever material she could find to make a covering so that she can have somewhere to sleep, okay? And that's just one example, And so when we look at homelessness, it's so far-stretched.
Shawnee Lewis is a chief welfare officer at the department's Fox Hill Outreach Center. She sees social work as a divine ministry. In her work, she helps people solve difficult circumstances, similar to those that followed the 2008 economic recession, when life for many quickly fell apart. The shocking number of employed but homeless people who slept in their cars, on beaches, parks, and wash houses at night increased rapidly.
You can imagine being employed and still cannot meet your rental obligation, and home is one of the most important things that we need as human beings. We need shelter. Okay, and so if you can't pay for shelter, then what happens? You don't have the financial support from your family. You don't have family relations that you can say, I'm going to go home. I can no longer pay rent, so I'm going to go home. Where's home? For a lot of people, there is no home to go back to. You understand? Because if mommy home had foreclosure, where is home?
It's a question that more and more men and women, young and old, still cannot answer. In recent times, Lewis says she has seen a rise in the number of single mothers and older men looking for accommodations. A lot of it, she says, goes back to situational homelessness and sadly exposes a major shift in the way Bahamian families once undergirded their loved ones in crisis.
Family support to me seemed to be a crucial factor in homelessness at this stage in the Bahamas. I think the breakdown in family relationships has caused a lot of persons to be homeless simply because if they're not getting along with the family, if they're not getting along with members of the family, the mothers, young mothers in particular, who may not be getting along with their mother, and they're out there having to pay rent. Oftentimes, of course, they're making minimum wage. They're unable to provide accommodations for them and their children. And if they don't have that relationship with, say, for instance, their mother or a grandparent, they can go back home. And sometimes the grandmothers themselves are homeless. And so there is no home to go back to.
Sitting down like I need to catch myself and then rest. I don't need apologies, just hit me less with that stress. I ain't know what's really coming, need protect from a vest. City cold sweaters worthless if that's after been guessed. The rate we going in now, losing plenty weather. If they legalize herb, keep the tracking for the birds, I promise that our block couldn't get anywhere.
The abyss of homelessness could not defeat this talented Bahamian artist. He had a whirlwind encounter with the forbidden abyss after losing his job. His encounter had many twists and turns that took him from one person's home to another during a crucial time in his life. For a period, Javan slept outside on a friend's bench where he dreamed. Then one day, love won. His bumpy road eventually turned into something beautiful when he landed a job at a popular Western New Providence boutique hotel. Javan loved himself enough to break the cycle of homelessness. He continues to relentlessly go after the life he wants. Javan's story is an example of situational homelessness. He also represents the power of perseverance and love. Self-love.
You know, there is a silver lining, you know, at the end of the cloud somewhere.
Perhaps there is a silver lining that is within us all. But could it be that it begins with the return of true togetherness and the community-mindedness we once regarded as our cornerstone?
If we can look at it from a communal type setting, that we are our brother's keepers. You know, when we walk past somebody who's homeless, think about it, but for the grace of God, go I. Okay, it could have easily been you or I who could find ourselves in that situation, or a relative or a loved one who can find themselves in that situation. So I think it's incumbent on us as a society to reach out and find ways how we can help. We may, as a country, need to look at innovative ideas. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We can look at what other countries are doing. We can look at what other countries and even in our hemisphere is doing, who have similar demographics to us and whose population is similar to ours. We can look at how they may be addressing the state of homelessness in their countries and find innovative ways on what we can do here in the Bahamas to address the state of homelessness in our country.
This is John Pinder, MP for Central and South Abaco. I want to reach out to all Abaconians and make sure that we are mindful of being prepared for this upcoming hurricane season, whether in terms of food resources, water resources, flashlights and batteries, and know where your safe spot is to go to in case of a major storm.
For hurricane coverage, there's only one network, the ZNS Network.
Commonwealth's highest consultative and policy-making gathering. And ZNS is taking you with us all the way to the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Kigali, Rwanda.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for the bottom.
Leaders from 54 Commonwealth countries will gather to highlight and achieve some of its biggest goals under the theme Delivering a Common Future, Connecting, Innovation, Transforming. Be sure to tune in from June 20th through the 25th on the Bahamas Tonight, beginning at 6:30 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
As she dances through the sky to her own song, she's speaking to spark the passion of your innermost light. Spread your wings, firefly. Take your flame, ignite the world, and dance. Is the meaning of Firefly she wants us to remember. As he saunters into the dark of the night, contemplating the cocoon of nothingness that awaits him, Ashley remembers the fallen fireflies he encountered along the way. He hopes that somewhere in the dark of the night, just maybe, they can find that tiny spark within them that connects them to the Creator and makes them who they truly are. If only the fire within him could reignite the passion within their souls, just maybe the invisible people could dance again.
Wow, such a long journey today. I think I find a place to rest. Hi, I'm actually Charles Clark. I'm going to be homeless for 24 hours. Well, technically a whole day. It's pretty long. My main objective is behind this is to see how they live, their daily basis, their daily routine, how they go about getting breakfast, lunch, dinner, or probably a little small snack. Probably they get something to drink, because, you know, in this climate, it's very hot. I am on the junction of Meadow Street and Nassau Street, because when I'm headed home from work, they frequent in this area a lot. I tend to see a lot of homeless people in here and probably give them $1 once in a while. My main focus behind is to see that the general public get to see that these people live amongst us, and they're humans too, so I would like to get to know what they do. I have $5 for the entire day, and I hope this lasts me. Well, I'll find out. How much we down this way?
See that green one?
Oh, green one. Oh, yeah.
The green one.
Take it right to the corner.
Yeah. And then one little breakfast place up there too, but they.
How much for the breakfast down here?
$2 in there too. But
$2? You get a good plate?
You like it, you like what you get.
Ah, yes.
And everything with it.
Okay then.
You like it.
Yes, sir.
Then sometimes we just take it. Sometimes you take it and you like it shut up.
Okay. People didn't even want me to cross the road at times. At the red light, they still don't want me to cross the road. It's like auntie-friendly. But some of the other homeless people, they would more interact with me and ask me if I could go get where to find breakfast and stuff like that. So they're helpful, especially ones further down the Meadow Street area by Broad Road. But they're friendly people. I'm somewhat friendly. I like that already. Hey, they say a breakfast place down there where they sell breakfast. You didn't know? So we better get some of these stuff around now.
I'm the one who try to understand you. I'm the one who loves you so. I'm the man who's got a plan to get there.
Apparently, they only do lunch and dinner on Tuesday and Thursdays. I probably got swing, my first swing for the day. I probably have to find breakfast someplace else, but pretty hungry, so I'm gonna try to do it right now. I encountered monkey tamarind. Now, monkey tamarind is all over my body. I'm gonna see if this breakfast is gonna taste good. I need it. I haven't seen anybody I could talk to because actually people seem to be so invisible to the people. It's like especially the COB people walking, they would only say, hey, and put their head down like, I'm invisible. I mean, like, wow. Where could we go to get something into? No one brings you food? And you don't know no place where you can find something new? Well, technically he doesn't know any place where to go to eat. But you have nothing? You ever been Great Commission? You never been, he said he's not. I'm going to receive the Great Commission. The guy who I was talking to recently, like St. Barnabas, he has moved along. He said he tend to ask tourists tend to be very friendly and offer him something. But he said he doesn't go to Great Commission, so I'm going to go there and see what I get myself. Yeah, I'm in front of Great Commission. I met a lady. She said they have lunch, so I'm going to sit amongst my type for the day and see if I can get served lunch. They've got some new band talking to Yeah, but I hope that be sufficient today. The lunch could last me until probably 6 o'clock, I hope. They seem to be friendly around here. Everybody calling them my cousins. I'll probably get a jacket or something to wrap around me in the nighttime and get food. The clothing center is probably down there. Yeah, that's the clothing center next to clothes. And she said I can go there. They don't have a problem, so I'm going to go there to get something to wrap around me when they go sleep tonight. Just go and food. Yeah, I see a restaurant that says Big Papa's Ted's. They actually give free breakfast when your birthday time, only your birthday. And homeless people then don't have, I don't think they carry identification around, so they probably wouldn't get breakfast there. So I'm about to head to Quaco Street and see what I can find. Proceeded to yeah, see what I can find. I haven't seen anybody on that main street. Just a lot of people just going about their business, not even noticing me. Sometimes they say good day or good evening, and it's like I am totally invisible to these people. They so just driving past, and especially on that East Street. The way I have to run across the road. They doesn't even respect me as they pass. I'll be there all day trying to get past, and no one would stop down. The only way for me to cross the road, I have to run across the road. Wow. Once again with Barry and Dion. You said on Quaco Street selling apples. I sell about Barry, who's in charge of the apples. He's homeless as well. He went to clean up the police officers and two people wanted apples, and I sold the 2 apples. I gave him his money, and so he said I could have 5 apples. He said I'm on the job now, so I'm working with him. Yeah, right in front of here. Asking people once in a while to see if they can give us the dollar by Pretty Bakery, but all the excuses, oh, it ain't happening. You all go work or some sort of that. Me and my friend here, he's in Mr. Pear. Yes. I just asked his Pear. We having a wonderful time. He said he had breakfast, he didn't have lunch because he can't find Great Commission. He said a place on Meeting Street, right? Yeah. A place on Meeting Street is offered breakfast, so I'm going to go there in the morning. See if I can get breakfast there, but I just shared some of my apples with him. How are you, sir? You can bless the dollar first? Okay, see, that's the next guy. We asked the dollar, but he says he has something to do with his money. But leaving the bank now, fine check up here. I don't think they like me because they didn't open the door, but fine check down at the parking place. But now I'm about to proceed back up the hill, so I'll link you guys there. Like I said, the corporate world doesn't, they're not friendly to homeless people. I'm starting to pick up that. People who work at the bank, lawyers, and other individuals who are in the corporate world, they don't fancy homeless people. They don't smile, they don't call. Say good morning, they wouldn't say anything back. Like some of the people who's leaving when I was on the just now, I said, oh, have a good day. They didn't utter a word. Once again, still on Dodger Street. I met a homeless guy. He's over there in my canteen. He doesn't. I went close. He doesn't want me to come any closer. He's not friendly one. He doesn't a friendly one. I asked him if I could find something. He has point down there. I see the Bahamas Experience tour buses down there. He point down. I said, yes, something. Yeah, he doesn't want me to come closer. The house is dilapidated. He's kind of white. He's a white person. He's homeless because the house doesn't have no electricity. It has leaks in the house, but he doesn't want me to come any closer, so he doesn't even want to talk. So I'm going to proceed down and see what I can find.
All that I ever needed in life is right here before me. And she's mine, all mine.
Down. I think I should walk by. I'm going to walk by the dock. A lot of barking dogs there, but I'm still going to walk by the dock. Thank God the rain has stopped. Now I can go to where I want to go. Yeah, I had really slowed down my progress, but I'm going by the Port-of-Ski dock to see if I could get some funds, probably buy something to eat for dinner. I'm by the green light by East Bay Street and the bridge that heads up to the Paradise Island. That's a stadium in the back of me where the beach soccer is going. Well, unfortunately, I got dinner. I went over by the defense force, the marina base there, and I asked them if they had any food to help me because I'm very hungry. I couldn't find any meat, and they were so helpful to give me some food too. I have dinner. It was steak and mashed potato. I have dinner now, so now I think it's some place to go to look for somebody to sleep at the moment. I think it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock, but I'm gonna see if I'm gonna eat my food. And I got cake. Actually, I got two plates of cake, and I can enjoy them. I'm by the foot of the bridge on Shirley Street. I'm by the foot of the bridge. People, you could actually, if you follow me here, you can see the people present to the event. I mean, it's so amazing the look they give me. It's like, let's stay on one side. Actually, you can see there's no one actually on my side. Everybody proceed on the left side. When they see me coming up on the right-hand side, everybody proceeded left. And the look on their faces, man, it's hysterical, like, wow, I don't want to be close to them. And I proceeded off the Shirley Street to come this way. The people who come in their cars were like, they close the doors so quick. And for instance, I was walking behind some ladies, and they kept looking back. I said goodnight in a professional way, and they, especially when I came closer, they tell her daughter, say, come on the next side of me. I was like, really? I'm getting a little weary at the moment and a little tired, but such is life. I am doing this thing 100% and 100% full throttle. I'm not stopping, I'm going to continue. Hey guys, I'm back again. I'm by the British Legion Bahamas branch. It's a blue place, very blue and yellow place. A blue and yellow place on Blue Hill Road. It's very comfortable here, by the way. And I feel like I'm going to rest here for the night because it's close to Meeting Street, and Meeting Street is up the road. I'll probably be the first person to breakfast anyway. Nice place, secured, and not that much people, but you have a lot of traffic on Blue Hill Road though. But it's a blue place, a blue and yellow place. Can't miss it. Wow, such a long journey today. I think I find a place to rest. I'm gonna take out the food I got during my journey today. I got some sandwiches. I gave a lot of the food away due to the people that didn't have any, but I had a lot. Snack. I still have some food left from Great Commission. Okay. That's good, yeah? I have a coconut water, an additional water. Yeah. The place right here is very common. This is what I got. I could save this for tomorrow morning. This place here is very nice. It's an empty container. I have some apples actually. The apples I got from Barry on Quaco Street. Yeah, I didn't give the rest of the apples to the guy over there. Yeah, I'm gonna rest my head for tonight. I'm gonna eat the sandwiches and the sandwiches in the bun. That's the snack I really wanted today. So I got a snack I really wanted. I hope to wake up early. I'm probably gonna wake up 6 o'clock. But thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I enjoyed my day. A lot of experience I went through to my entire day. I got to meet some disgruntled people, loving people. Well, only the elder people were unlovable. Not too much younger people. The young school students, when school was out, they would look at me in a funny way, like say, "Oh, well." But the older people were loving. But I learned a lot, and it shows you that in a day, what a homeless person could do in a day. If I didn't give any food away, I would have food like for actually 3 days. If I didn't give any food away, I would have food for 3 days. And I think that's an accomplishment. But we must do more to prevent this, and preventing this will be critical in our society, and let others know what it's about. It's very calming here, very peaceful, and very dry. Now I can sit back and enjoy the weather, as they say. Well, I'm gonna have to say good night. Good night to you guys.
As Ashley rests his head under the stars, he is one of many who, for at least this night, have nowhere else to call home.
I'm so glad you get me out this house. Things been rough since Marvin died from COVID.
You know I have for you. How the children coping?
They all right. They going out with their friends more.
At least they vaccinated, so you know they safe.
Well...
Deb, you serious? You ain't vaccinate the children after what happened with Marvin and they over 12?
I hear so much things about this COVID vaccine, I know what to think.
Debbie, what you mean? We know they're safe. Just like the other ones we to get. You forget how JJ had COVID plus he got sugar? He only pulled through because of the vaccine.
I will in Keisha, but I scared. I can't lose my children too.
Well, Debbie, this COVID ain't over yet. Please carry the children to one of them government clinic. Y'all go get vaccinated and protect yourself and your family.
Thanks, Keisha. I will make sure my family's safe.
You better. Hey, chef, fix us up. I hungry bad.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by PAHO WHO, Canada, and USAID.
Here for you. God answered your prayer. Lift your hands and just say thank you.
I saw myself in him, you know, with a lighter in your hand, $2 in your hand, just finished hustling because you won't get your last hit.
I need stability, I need direction.
Our drive to the first expedition site was burdened with nervous anticipation. We were afraid of what we might see. The mission to uncover the true picture of where our homeless sleep at night. The last known assessment of our homeless was done in 2009. At the time, the Department of Social Services identified Porter's Key Dock, Arawak Key, and Montague Ramp as key hotspots. We would soon find out the sad reality still exists.
What's your name? Hello? Yeah, we're just checking on you to making sure that you're doing all right. All right. Because it's hard out here. It's hard out here. We want to see you do well. When you're ready to, we'd like to give you some help. When you're ready for some help, would you like for somebody to reach out and help you?
Man, I'm saved a long time.
You saved? Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. That's all. We just
sometimes that's witchcraft.
No, not witchcraft. No. We pray for you. We pray that you get delivered. Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Jesus. Father, in the name of Jesus, thank you for your time to change. God got something better for you. You could be delivered. You could turn your life around.
Give him help right now as we come to help him, Father God. And help him, Lord God, to keep his mind on focus, to save this help that is rendered to you.
We're here for you. We're here for you. God answered your prayer. Come over this way. Help him over here.
Spend my money on coke.
You have any drugs on you now? You have any coke on you now? Huh? Yes. You ain't got no rocks on you now? Trapped. Lord have mercy. Lord deliver.
They don't want to be. A hypocrite or be a lie to myself. Because I done lie to myself and lie to people on many occasions. Because I ask for money, buy food, buy a cigarette, or buy coke, or maybe to buy rum.
We've encountered 2 or 3 men who live under the bridge, need housing, need help, need direction. And we have, in particular, a young man that we're going to take with us, put him up in one of our homes, and reach out to him. He's on drugs, and he wants to be delivered. And we believe that this effort tonight, this rescue mission, could change that one life. I believe we can reach this country one man at a time, one person at a time. What about breakfast? Did you get breakfast?
It seems as if they don't want to associate with their families, though. That seemed to be there's a breakdown that drove them to that point, where they prefer to just be living as they are. Because it's sad, you ask them about families and they don't want to discuss their families. Either that or embarrassment, yeah, right. So, yeah, something brought them to that point. And, something brought them to that point. And it's sad and they're not prepared to talk about it now. I guess it takes a while. You know, it takes some time.
Our visit to Monarchy Ramp came up empty. On this night, there was no one there.
You're not afraid to be in the back here by yourself? You know? You're braver than me? Huh? Or you inside you? Oh, so who was us? How many? 2 other fellows? Okay, so this is your pastime. This hour of the night? One inside sleeping? They let him sleep in there? Where does he live?
Oh, him? I ain't gonna lie, right? You see this man right here, right? I ain't gonna lie, mama. He need help too. He need help. I ain't gonna lie. He live in here. I know he live, mama. He live in here. But this is my brethren too. I ain't gonna lie. He ain't there well. You know what I mean? He ain't there well. He ain't there well. You say, son? I can tell you the truth. I can tell you the truth, right, Daddy? As somebody's me right over there right now, I ain't doing better now. Say, son, that's why I hold you. I get into a problem. I get into a problem with a woman. But don't even make me no cut. You know what I mean?
Woman problem?
Honey, woman problem. I got property. I have a property. I buy a Jeep. I get a lot of things. They get a problem too, and I can't even maintain it. I feel like I'm the boss, but I'm the boss. I get a lot of things, but I still ain't making no sense, and people like it. I'm 29 years of age. I can tell you that I grew up in this ghetto. I know how this is. You see that? After 2, 3 o'clock, y'all here. So, y'all show me your concern, man. Man, I really need your help now.
Let's give God some praise.
I shame now.
Let's give God some praise. Let everything that has bread praise the Lord. Let's give him some praise and just the Lord.
Some years ago, I was exactly like him. People minister to me, and I know that I wasn't ready yet, you know, but you can only do it when you're ready, when you're broken and open and honest. The first person you have to be honest with is yourself. And when you confront yourself, you can conquer it.
because we are out in the community in the urban renewal unit, we see a lot of persons along the streets as we drive along the streets, and what we try to do is to check with them to see what their situation is. Many of them, what we found out is that many of them may have a place of abode. However, they are not comfortable there, or maybe they have some family rift and they prefer to be outside of the family. And I think many of them gravitate towards groups of persons who are like-minded, who, like what we saw on Port Dock, what we're seeing here now on Nassau Street. They gravitate, and what I see is there seems to be camaraderie. They're dependent on one another. They seem to look out for each other, and they seem to be comfortable in their given situation. And so you see it as you drive along the streets in the Carmichael Road area. In the Wolf Road area, you'd see persons on the side of the street. But to say that was an eye-opener per se, not really, because we have some knowledge that these situations do exist in this country.
It's morning now. While many Bahamians get ready to start their busy day, there are others among us who will struggle to find their first meal. Not far from Portisky Dock, there exists another sad reality. The uninhabitable, run-down, rat-infested, garbage-filled dump known as City Lodge is home for 6 Bahamians.
I've been the same one, yeah. The same one right there with the British right there? Okay, yeah. I'll be right in there. And there's one man lives right up there in that big window. One he lives in there right now. And then one side get burned up over there. And one get burned up in that side over there. Oh, this is here? Yeah. Okay. Wow. So you can put all that on there.
So what does happen like when it hurricane and when it really rains to a shelter? They just being there during the hurricane? Yeah. I'm joking.
I'm serious. Wow. Like, when you go inside, inside don't be like the radio, it will block that off.
Right.
And block off that front there.
Oh, it's bad it up anyway. Okay.
He's trying to tell the woman if she can put it downstairs. You can clean up in the front of the bar. See that you ain't gonna be clean up.
Oh, you mean the landlord?
No, they won't put it downstairs. They plan on putting the car wash it for the
Makes sense. Like yourself. So she don't have no problem with people being here, or they just make them pay or what?
Spread your wings, fireflies. Take your flame, ignite the world, and dance.
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer affecting Bahamians. Your risk of developing colon cancer is increased if you have a personal history of colorectal cancer or colon polyps, a family history of colon cancer, or inflammatory bowel diseases such as ulcerative colitis. Other factors that can increase your risk of developing colon cancer are low fiber, high fat diets, a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, and alcohol. You can take steps to reduce your risk of colon cancer by making specific lifestyle changes. Eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. These foods contain fiber, minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants, which may play a role in cancer prevention. Drink alcohol in moderation or not at all. Do not smoke. Exercise with a goal of getting in at least 30 minutes each day. If you've been inactive, start slowly and gradually build up to 30 minutes. Also, talk to your doctor before starting any exercise program. Maintain a healthy weight. If you're at a healthy weight, maintain it by combining a well-balanced diet with daily exercise. If you need to lose weight, ask your doctor about healthy ways to achieve your goal. Colon cancer screening can also help to prevent colon cancer or lead to its early detection when treatment is most effective. If you're 45 years or older, speak to your doctor about having a colonoscopy or some form of colon cancer screening that may be appropriate for you. I'm Dr. Eugene Marcus Cooper. Pay attention to your health. Get the facts and discuss colon cancer with your physician today.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Change in the perspective of self-realization and the deeper meaning of life. This is the meaning of Dragonfly. He wants us to remember. As our homeless sleep into the morning, there is an army of love that rises at the crack of dawn to feed, clothe, and shelter the invisible people. When they are hungry, sick, broken, or in need of shelter, they come to Bethel Baptist, one of the oldest churches on New Providence.
We can take care of the poverty situation in the Bahamas. It's not out of control. We don't have a big population. And then, you know, I don't know what percentage of the population falls into this poverty area, but I'm sure that it's something that's manageable. If each person plays a part and asks us if you are my brother, because what happens to them indirectly affects us. Indirectly affects us. We worry about the crime and the this and the that and all the next thing. It's not only feeding them and giving them clothes or whatever it is. It's all about teaching them how to live by godly principles. Live by godly principles. The Bible says, unless God says, unless he builds the house, we labored in vain that build it. And so that means that we got to live by his standards, and we have to live by his principles, and we got to do what he wants us to do and be what he wants us to be. That is the only way where you're going to have the perfect person.
Pastor Pat Bethel and her team join another key organization in feeding the hungry and the homeless. Every day, they come from near and far.
Dabby, scan up, buddy. You need no more. Let's go, Dabby.
What's your name, dancer?
They call me #1 dancer. Gotcha.
This is where homelessness and hunger has an actual face. While there has been joy in serving thousands of people for over 25 years, the depth of sadness that comes with trying to find food, clothes, and shelter for men, women, and children every day cannot be overstated.
How we treat the poor and the homeless is an indication of how we really and truly feel toward God. A lot of times people, we testify that we are Christians and we love the Lord, but the only way we could prove that we love the Lord is how we treat our brothers and sisters. In life is not about accumulating wealth. Jesus said life does not consist in the abundance of things that we possess. In other words, things are not important. What is important is the people, and more particular, the ones who are struggling, the ones who need help, the ones that the church and the community at large must reach out to, help them, serve them, lift them up. And that is what Great Commission Ministry does. We've been doing it now for 30 years, and we'll continue to do it as long as the Lord gives us strength and the resources to carry it on.
On the edge of the ocean.
Great Commission Ministries is the only charitable organization that has its own self-managed shelters for Bahamians who have fallen on hard times. While shelter is a very important component of their ministry, Minnalee and Walter Hanschel are embarking on new ways to help restore dignity to our homeless. Something as simple as a shower can be transformational for our homeless, who are often turned away from job opportunities for poor hygiene.
There are so many persons on the street that go weeks and weeks without catching a bath. We see them all the time in dirty clothes, barefoot. This project is to make sure that each one of them, in particular the men, have somewhere that they could get a shower every single day and also clean up. What we're going to do, they come in here and get a shower. We're building a privacy wall right next to this shower, and we're going to provide them with clothing, a fresh change of clothing, towels, soap, and make sure that they catch a clean, a fresh shower, and they're able to go on their way. Because there's so many people have nowhere to bathe, as simple as that is. They have nowhere.
The Hanschels have caught on to what is a global demand in providing much-needed hygienic assistance to the homeless. Birthed out of one woman's unbelievable passion to do something, in San Francisco, California, there are showers of hope for its homeless.
We basically take retired public transportation buses and convert them into toilets and showers on wheels.
That's Donice. She's the founder and CEO of Lava May, the nonprofit responsible for this project. It all started with her idea.
I literally passed a young woman who was on the street crying that she would never be clean, and it made me wonder what her chances were for getting physically clean. So I went home that evening and did research, and what I found was appalling. There were about 16 shower stalls for 3,500 men, women, and children who literally live on the street. And I thought, that's crazy. This is not a third world country, and yet here in San Francisco, one of the most affluent cities in the world, we have issues with access to water and sanitation. I just started thinking, if you can put gourmet food on wheels and take it anywhere, then why couldn't you do that with showers and toilets?
Thousands of miles away from San Francisco, another unconventional phenomenon is taking shape.
The rocking vans are appearing in parks around Australia. Defying the traditional advice not to wash dirty laundry in public, this is a free and mobile clothes cleaning service for the homeless and those living in temporary accommodation. In a country such as Australia, clean clothes are mostly taken for granted. Without them, say those who don't have access to affordable washing facilities, they lose a sense of dignity. This then helps.
It's unbelievable, eh? Like, it doesn't cost anything, you know? I don't know what else to say. It's like, it's excellent.
The founders of the Orange Sky Laundry say their initiative is a world first.
What we've found is that being on four wheels, we can be responsive, but being on four wheels, we can also really be proactive in where we're operating.
The two friends who launched the service as a charity 2 years ago say they're not trying to make money. Corporate sponsors and individual donors pay for the service and provide the equipment. The vans are operated by teams of volunteers. So far, 400 people donate their time. By the end of the year, the founders are hoping for 1,000.
Sometimes, unconventional measures can make a huge difference for the people who live in unconventional circumstances. At the end of this journey, we learned a few things. We learned that some of our homeless choose to be hidden. We may never see this group because of pride. However, the vast majority do not choose to be homeless. It is not a choice they would make, but are instead victims of circumstances. We also know that there is a greater role to be played by the state in assisting the homeless who face mental illness. As it stands, there is no bridge to protect our mentally ill from the coldness of the streets. More programs are needed to meet the drug and alcohol addicted where they are on the streets. The greatest tangible need we discovered was the lack of a state-funded and operated shelter that can address the growing demands of the homeless among us. There is no such facility in place, and the social intervention efforts of government is entirely dependent on the private efforts of citizens. We must reject the myths and misconceptions, forego the labels and stigma, and extend our hands and our handbooks. Both are needed for real solutions. But the most important factor directly affecting the state of homelessness in this country is the non-involvement of families when the cracks that suck people into the abyss of homelessness first develop. This absence of concern extends to our wider communities, where there is no doubt that something as simple as love can lift, restore, and heal those unfortunate Bahamians who are the invisible people.
You know that I'm